YouTube, Houston here, and for those of you just finding my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell. And for those of you that's been following me and supporting me, salute. And for my favorite patrons, always double salute. Now, today's video, we're actually going to talk about how many credit cards to get an 800 credit score. That's right. Most people want to get that 800 credit score, and they're trying to figure out, well, how many credit cards I need? Well, I'm finna answer that, and so that you can understand. The amount of credit cards you need for an 800 credit score is one. Okay? It's one. And I'm going to tell you, you're probably going to scratch your head like, wait a minute. You telling me all I need is one credit card to get an 800 credit score? Well, let me explain to you, all right? If you have a brand new file, okay, or you haven't used your credit in years and stuff, and you want just an 800 credit score, then all you need to do is add an authorized user. An authorized user would definitely, but here's the kicker to it. It has to come off the right credit file. You can't just add any type of authorized user and on a new credit file and get an 800 credit score. It has to come off the right credit file. But if you just add one account, an authorized user, this will give you an 800 credit score. Now, here comes the problem. Because you only have one account, your file is still too thin for lenders to want to give you funding. All right? So, in order for you to properly build up your credit score to 800 and to be able to qualify for funding, I would definitely encourage you to prep the file. And how do you prep the file? You do the following things. You can add a Grow Credit and Perch. Okay, so if you have gym memberships, car insurance, Hulu, Netflix, you can sign up. They'll report to your credit bureaus for you. Pledge loans, credit builder loans will report to the credit lenders for you. With the credit bureaus for you. Experian Boost, My FICO Ultra also is a way to help you boost up your credit score. Well, I guess if you have a new credit file, you don't have no inquiries, technically. But if you have an existing credit file, then removing inquiries will definitely help you. And in terms, I know people are still having challenges with removing hard inquiries off the credit. Here's the thing you have to do, again, is reach out to the fraud department. And if you have multiple inquiries around the same time, let them know that, hey, I didn't agree for nobody to pull my credit with any of these companies. And do not say anything more than that, okay? The reason is because if you start digging in and trying to explain yourself more, you're going to create a bigger situation into where they'll say, well, you authorized this company and this company did it or whatever, so these belong to you or whatever. So you don't want that. You just say, hey, I was not aware that these companies pulled my credit file and I'd like them to be removed. Don't say anything more than that, all right? Now, again, we talked about adding the authorized users. If you have a debit card, you can sign up with either Extra Debit Card app or One Financial, and they'll report all your debit card transactions to the credit bureaus as well. Also, another thing is prepping the file. Again, trying to get to that 800 credit score, prepping the file. These are things that are very important, especially like with paying rent. You should have your rent payments reporting, because not only would it boost up your credit score from 45 to 65 points, but it also will help you qualify for a mortgage, okay? Because when lenders see that you actually been making on-time rent payments, you haven't missed any payments with your rent and stuff, then that also counts as you're able to carry a mortgage, all right? So that's the reason you want to have the rental in there. That being said, some of the cards that you want to have on here to have a strong credit file, to build your credit file up to 800. All right. Now you can have a Macy's department store card. I always tell people, if you prep your file right, you just may be able to get the Macy's American Express right off the bat. Okay, but if they give you the Macy's department store card, I just made a video about this as well. If you utilize the card, pay it off, utilizing, you don't have to max out the card. Just using about 30% it off and paying it off every month or whatever, you can easily get credit line increases, okay? And so some of those increases can go up to $50,000. So having a $50,000 Macy's department store card primary is definitely something that you want to have. So it is possible. I made a video talking about this, so I'll put a link in the description so you can check out those videos as well. That being said, some of your FICO 9s. Now, the prepping of the file, most of those accounts that I was talking about with the Grow Credit, the Perch, Ad North, most of those will reflect on your FICO 9. FICO 8 bank card, they usually don't accept your authorized users. They may not recognize the authorized user, but on the FICO 9 it does, okay? So you want to be able to get the low-hanging fruit to build up your credit score the fastest, especially if you're trying to get an 800 credit score. So to build up your credit score the fastest and the easiest way is getting the low-hanging fruit. And so some of your low-hanging fruit is like a card with a PETAL. Now that Macy's card is FICO 8, okay? Just keep that in mind. But with low-hanging fruit, you have the PETAL card. You can either have the PETAL 1 or the PETAL 2. But again, by you prepping the file, you should be able to jump over to the PETAL 2 card, which goes from 300 up to 10,000. Now, here's something else that's very important when you're trying to get larger lines of credit, and that's the income, okay? Now, your income, for a single individual, the average income on an application is between $39,000 up to $47,000 annually, okay? So $39,000 up to $47,000 annually. That's the average income, okay? That does not mean you have to be making that much income to get qualified, because you definitely can get qualified for credit cards with less. But when you're talking about larger amounts of money as an individual, those are the average numbers, okay? Now, also talking about income, if you have a spouse in the household, make sure that you're adding the spouse's income on the application where it's applicable. Also, in terms of that, will help boost up the income qualification. Say that you're disabled, but you have somebody in the household that's renting from you. Their income is also considered part of your income, so them paying you rent or whatever, so you have to include that income. If you're retired, you're receiving annuities, you receive your pension, Social Security. You have all of these things that are qualifications for his income that you can also add. All right. Now, that being said, especially if you're trying to get higher limited credit cards, you definitely want to look at the income. Now, in reference to if you have bad credit, but you're still trying to build yourself up to the 800 credit score, it is possible. Another way for you to do that, and this is one of the fastest ways for you to actually get your credit score up to 800, is to pay your credit card revolving debt down to below 10%. Not 30%, but 10%, or either pay it off, okay? And that also jumps up your credit score. That has a bigger impact on your credit score. Now, again, if you're just starting out and you're building your credit and stuff, and you just don't know where to start at, like I said, if you haven't prepped your file, then you may want to look at cards like the OPPFI card, which starts at $1,000. But again, cards like this, they still can help you build up your credit score to 800, just keeping your utilization below 10%, okay? That being said, and it reports to all three of the credit bureaus, and then after 6 months, it turns into, it doubles, all right? That being said, you have CREDIT.AI. CREDIT.AI will give you a primary credit card with no hard credit check on the credit file as well, okay? And long as you having funds deposited into your checking account, they will give you a primary trade line credit card for about $1,500. But again, the magic thing to getting that 800 credit score, like I said, if you want just the 800 credit score, then making sure that you're keeping your utilization down under 10%. In reference to trying to get higher limit cards and stuff, that the factors on that is your income, okay? Your income as well as your debt to income ratio, all right? That being said, let's talk about some of these other cards, like you have secured cards. One or two secured cards doesn't hurt the credit file as well. That way you can actually start getting larger lines of credit. So if you was able to take out a loan, the maximum with the SABLE 1 credit card is that it's $10,000, but after 4 months of good payment history, it turns into a regular unsecured credit card, okay? So that's a secured card that you can also add. Navy Federal, for those of you that are able to get into Navy Federal, just getting their Nrewards card. Also, I talked about the credit builder loan or the pledge loan. Definitely, especially with Navy Federal, because you want to take advantage of their data points. Navy Federal, they're more or less about the data points, how many accounts you have with us, versus your credit score, okay? A credit score, a good strong credit score does help. However, there have been people with 500, 550 credit scores that were able to get unsecured credit cards because they had a good internal score. And how do you build up that good internal score? By you having a possible direct deposit. If you're not able to do direct deposit, still open the checking account and put money in the account weekly. Having a savings account, like I said, having the Nrewards, having a pledge loan, maybe a CD or money market account. Those are the things that help increase your internal score, okay? Now, in reference to, and that was a FICO 9 credit score as well. The Apple card is FICO 9, okay? By you prepping your file like I said you would, you definitely be able to qualify for the Apple credit card as well. Because again, building the foundation up first so that you not only are building yourself up to a 800 credit score, but like I said, positioning yourself so that you can get larger lines of credit is very important. Because here's the thing about it. The reason that I'm showing you the FICO 9, because what ends up happening, the data from your FICO 9 starts transitioning over to your FICO 8, which is your major banks, which is like your Chase Bank, your Bank of America, your U.S. Bank. So those are the ones. Now, Wells Fargo is also FICO 9 as well. Okay, for some of you that may not know that, I made a couple videos about Wells Fargo credit cards and about the FICO 9 and stuff like that, so you can check out those as well. That being said, we talked about secured. Secured cards and stuff. So if you don't have the money to put on those secured cards, a couple places that you can turn to. That don't look at the credit score, but they look at how long you've been on the job. They look at your place of residence, your debt to income ratio. Is companies like CASHUSA. Their loans go from 500 up to 10,000. Even if you're in check systems, they're still able to help you as well. Then you have opportune personal loans. Now understand that opportune personal loans don't operate in every state. Their loans do start from 300 to 6,000, and then if you after you pay off those loans returning, they go from 6,000 up to 10,000 with no credit check. Again, because they're not focused on the credit score, they're focused on your ability to pay. So if you have a job, even if you're like receiving fixed income, these are the type of lenders that will be willing to work with you. All right. That being said, if you have any questions about personal credit funding, business credit funding, if your credit score is stalling, you know, because I get a lot of people that say, well, I done did this, and my credit score still won't go up. There may be something that that you're not seeing. So that's the reason I tell people is to get your FICO score by clicking the link in the description, because it's going to give you more data points. That's the reason, like those free scoring systems, they're good to just take a glimpse. But when you want real data, real information, you definitely need to get your real credit score, okay? And that's by clicking the link in the description. Also, scheduling a one-on-one consultation. This is Houston with three-way funding. Thank you.